Hello, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you for joining. My name is Katza. If you're returning, welcome back. You know how things operate here in this corner of the internet. I say what I feel, I say what I hear. Spirit controls the reading for the most part. I do say a prayer before each reading. I did already say a prayer. I know some of you like it better when I say it on camera, but I do try to keep these within a reasonable watch time. Sometimes I do ramble on, as you, I'm sure, can tell. So without further ado, we are just going to jump right into it. It's been a bit since I used this deck. So oh, the astronomer, discovery, augury. I'm not actually sure what augury means. If you guys give me a minute, I'm actually going to look that word up. A sign of what will happen in the future, an omen. Okay, I guess that makes sense in terms of astronomy, because a lot of people, that's what they do when it comes to astronomy. Some of you, obviously the initial the average person is going to be like, oh, you're really into astronomy. I want to focus for a second on the eye here, because this is what's standing out to me. You've got the eye, and then you've got all of this like light around it. A lot of this collective is in the process of opening their third eye. You're in the process of expanding your third eye, expanding your energy, and seeing new possibilities. I'm hearing new information, new ideas, new information, new belief systems, new belief structures is coming into play here for this collective right out of the gate. Some of you would need to focus on the moon cycle. So some of you, some of you, they're just kind of showing me this kind of it in a weird way. Some of you are like logging the moon. Like you're logging when the moon is in a specific cycle because of something because of your emotions, because of your emotional state. Sorry, I'm being corrected. Because of your emotional state. You're realizing that your emotions are impacted by the moon. And that was the catalyst to this opening, this like third eye expansion and opening here for this collective. That's really specific. Really specific. So we've got the Smith, which is overthinking, and then the Walker, the unknown and a journey. You guys are in it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, definitely you're in a new journey. There's kind of a sense of like the blinds, like the wool's off your eyes. You know that saying where it's like the wool's been pulled over your eyes? There's this feeling here of like, now you see clearly. Now you understand things that you previously didn't understand. Now you get why things happen. I don't want to get into politics, but for some of you, this has to deal with politics. It has to deal with world events. It has to deal with previous like belief structures, okay, religious structures, belief systems that you held. You're opening your mind and your eye up to that. There's a caution that I'm being told here of false teachers, of validating where you're getting your information from, validating your sources, validating the authenticity of where you're getting information from. Because there's a feeling here with this collective that, that some of you are a little bit too trustworthy of what it is you hear. I don't want to say something that's like, is like a bad rap, but because I do have a little bit personally of a bad rap with people who are like TikTok scrollers, where they just spend so much time and the only place they get their news is TikTok, and they don't do any information. And there is a sense here that they're showing me of like this collective the reason this happened is because of something like that, where you were on social media and your mind got blown open via social media. And that's also where the caution comes in of there's so much fake stuff on social media, and especially with the advent of AI. And so there's this concept of discernment, understanding things, not getting caught up in like the anxieties of the world, not getting caught up in ish that is not yours to start off with, realizing what is something that's going to legitimately impact you versus all of the conspiracies of the world that honestly aren't going to impact you to start off with. Some of you are taking up a religious practice. We got the desert here. That's really interesting. That's not what I thought this was going. Some of you are taking up a new religious practice. Again, the moon. The moon is in the same phase, actually. I don't know if you guys can tell this. I'm going to try and show you this. So you see the moon here, and you see in this card, it's in the same phase. It's the same, and I don't know what that moon phase is called because I'm not... if you follow this channel long enough, you know that I'm not really that deep into astrology and astronomy, and that's not a massive strength of mine. So I'm not really sure what this phase is called. If it's like a waning moon, I want to say it's like a waning moon where the moon's going into a new moon. That's what I'm going to say it is. You're more than welcome to correct me in the comments when you see this, if you know better. But I'm going to read this on the assumption that this is more of a waning moon energy, where we're heading into a new moon. And the new moon energy deals a lot with new beginnings, new structures, new thought processes, new things coming to be, new things coming to fruition, new things coming to belief and understanding. and understanding and getting that right. We have the village and the animal. Okay, immediately, two things coming through here. With the village card, this collective, I want to say by the new moon, based on this, where these two moon phases are right now, and under the assumption that this is a waning moon, you guys are in the process of finding your people, like finding your soul tribe. I'm hearing finding your people, right? There's this battle that's going on with you guys. The animal card comes up, and it's reminding me of this concept that we have within mysticism, Jewish mysticism specifically. And it's this idea of the animal spirit versus like your godly spirit. And the animal spirit basically just being another term for ego, right? And focusing on all of the issues of the world and not fostering a relationship with your spiritual side, not fostering a relationship with your soul, right? Versus the Mongolia, which is where you're going to focus on fostering a relationship. I'm obviously making this very, very broad. It's a lot deeper than that, but I don't want to get into that in this reading because I don't feel like this collective is going to resonate 100% with all the teachings of between like the animal soul and the more godly soul. But I think there's going to be this like spiritual awakening you're in the middle of, this collective. I'm getting definitely like spiritual awakening vibes, but it's more than a spiritual awakening. It's not just a spiritual awakening. It's not just your third eye opening up and you realize, like, coming to this understanding of spirit and spirituality. It's also seeing things that have been occurring within the world from a new perspective. Seeing the lies, seeing the propaganda, seeing the things that have been occurring from a new perspective now that you have a better level of discernment, opening yourself up more to differing ideas, differing thoughts, differing beliefs and thought processes and aspects, things of that nature. But really this awakening occurring right now that you're in the middle of, right? The desert call, it was like you were in this space of like, kind of like almost this like depression, this like, and now you're on like the precipice of something more. I'm hearing just you're on the precipice. You're on the precipice. That's what I'm hearing right now. So that phrase might resonate with some of you. I'm also hearing there's a song by a singer. Her name's Lights. She's actually a Canadian singer, and she's got a song from an old album, and it's called Banner. And I'm hearing that song. I lift it up like a banner. It's on her album Siberia. Some of you might want to go listen to that song. Maybe you might want to go look into Lights, the singer. Lights itself, like the concept of lights and light coming in might also be significant for some of you in this collective. So lift me up like a banner. That's the part of the song I'm hearing. So lift me up like a banner by Lights. And it's showing me in the music video, if you go watch it on YouTube, and I would recommend you do, she is like in a desert area with like a flag, with a banner in the video. And that might be really important for some of you. Excuse me. Seeing things in a new way. Yeah, the eye is sticking out for me with the animal here. The eye, opening your out. You're seeing things now. You're seeing things that you never saw before. You're seeing things. You've got a new vision, a new way of looking at things. You're really open, like realizing a lot of things. You're not in the gray anymore. You're not in the shadows anymore. I'm hearing you're not in the fog anymore. You've really cleared. You're really opening up. This collective. Really opening up to new ideas. Some of you are also going to be, I don't know why this Smith card is making me think of this, but some of you are going to be focusing on fitness. This collective is going to be focusing on fitness. They're going to be focusing on health, wellness, fitness in particular. Some of you might have also come to a recent like health, like what's the word I'm looking for? Like health understanding. If you've been dealing with a health problem for a while, some of you might have recently come to a new health understanding of why you're having issues with something, or like something that's come to fruition. Music. I was just talking about music and lights. Music. There is a melody to be heard in the deepest part of the woods if only we listen. Music's going to be really important. Some of you are going to need to pay attention to the music. Remember that music carries a vibration. As you're going through this spiritual like awakening and this opening up, remember that music carries a spiritual vibration, and music that you were previously open to, you might all of a sudden not be so open to, and music that you previously would have been closed off to, now all of a sudden you might realize that you're going to be more open to that type of music that previously you weren't open to. But music carries a vibration. And so being mindful of the vibration of the music that you're bringing in, being mindful of the vibration of the music that you're bringing in. Forebearance. Do not be deterred by the thorn amidst the roses. There is a slight message coming through here, this collective. How far do you want to go? Because once you know something, you can't unknow it. Once you see something, you can't unsee it. So this forbearance card is really reminding me and bringing through that how much of, I'm trying to figure out how I want to word this. How much of the gentleness that you possess do you want to risk in your thirst for knowledge of the world? How much of the innocence do you want to lose in that process. And there is going to be a level of innocence that will be had. There will be a level of understanding. Once you know something, and especially once you know things that and understand things at such a deep level, it's a lot more difficult to go back to the way things were. It's a lot more difficult to integrate yourself in society, to integrate yourself in your work, to integrate yourself even amongst like your family. It's a lot more difficult to do that. It's interesting. This card, light. Again, okay, I was talking about light. Lights. Light's the singer. Lights in the cards. Light. Look to the space between the trees for answers. Don't dim your light. Look to the space between the trees for answers. I'm just going to repeat that one more time. Look to the space between the trees for answers. Some of you are on a quest. You have this thirst for knowledge, this thirst for truth, this thirst for understanding. You're not going to find that directly in the light. I have to be careful on how I word that because I don't want this video to get demonetized or taken down. But all I'm going to say is the message in this card is going to be the map for where you want to go. It's going to be the map for what it is you need. And the rest of this reading is going to be your guideline. And remember forbearance. Remember that things are sometimes better left unknown. Not because they're not supposed to be illuminated in the right time, but because of the potential damage that it could do to you as a spiritual being, knowing certain things. I'm going to leave that there, I think. I think that's, like I said, there's certain things that I can't really say directly the way I would like to say that, because I don't want this video to get demonetized, but this collective just needs to be mindful of knowing when enough is enough before you know so much that the damage is done and you can't look back, and then you have regrets. Knowing when enough is enough, knowing where it is you're willing to look and the knowledge you're willing to have there, and where it is that it's going to do more harm in the long run if you look there. And I'm going to leave this here. I wish you all the best. Till next time.